Who wants to add some student choice to their projects? You do? Great, then you are in the right video. Let's get started right away. We'll click on this book club course right here, and it's pretty much an empty course. I just got started playing with it, and as usual, we go to the editor button, and after that, we will click on this projects tab. And here's right where we want to be. We need to get inside our project settings to make sure we can add a student choice folder. Now, this is where I think you might get tripped up. Not here, not the course settings. Here, the project settings, okay? This is a project, this is a course. So let's jump into our project settings. Click on the editor button, and you can see the term project settings in a tab. It's all ready for you. So we'll click right there, and here you go. Enable student choice in this folder. Now you're going to need a little explanation about your options, I think. So in this case, for my example, I want students to do one thing that's inside this folder. So I'm just going to put a 1 in there. And I know that some of my kids might want to do all of the choices. And I'm okay with that. I want to let them. If they want to do every single one, go for it, kiddos. So that means I'll check this box, allow for extra choices. And for allow choices from any folder, that permits students to choose activities from any choice folder activity in the whole course. So that way you could create a bank of choice activities where students could select those at different points throughout the course. I'm not sure if I want to use it that way, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself that option. And here you can allow choices from the digital library. I'm not going to allow choices from the digital library for this course, but I might in the future. But today I'm going to leave it blank. And now save. You always have to click save, right? So here we go. Now we should see a student choice folder pop up. And there it is. There's our choice activities. I'm going to open that up. And here's how I add to the choice activities. Now, for my choice activities, what I want to do is give kids 3 ways to learn the same information. So I'm going to embed a podcast for them because I know some kids want to learn by listening, right? So I'm going to embed this podcast. Just get the embed code from the podcast, and here I'm going to do the NPR podcast on volcanoes. So they can listen to this podcast, right? So they can listen. Or another option for them might be to watch a video. I want them to check out this YouTube video. So I could also choose, you know what, I think I could embed it just like I did the podcast, or I can put the YouTube video right in here. So in this case, I'm going to give them the URL. So there they go. There's their YouTube video that they can watch. And the last option I'm going to give them is a website link, because some kids just want to read this article. So I've got an article ready from Live Science. I'm going to pop that in, and I want it to launch in a new window. So here we go. Now there are 3 ways kids can do this topic. I actually don't like the way this looks with just the Live Science in there, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a makeover by using the edit button. So I'm just going to tell them to read about volcanoes here so they know it's one where they can read. So there we go. Now it's a little prettier, right? So here we go. We have choice activities for the kids. So I bet you wonder, what does that look like for the kids? Well, let's take a look. Here we go. We'll click that play button, and we're going to go inside our volcano project, and it just says choose an activity. When I click on it, the students have their options here. So they can choose one, or remember, we checked the box so they can choose all of them. Now, where in the world do these go when you want to grade them? They will, like everything else you do, pop up in your to-do list, but they're a little trickier inside the gradebook. They're not going to show up in this activities list. They're not going to show up here. They're going to show up in the For Me tab. So if any of my demo students had done this yet, there'd be a little dot beside self-assigned. And that is how I would grade these activities for my students. So I hope you will give student choice activities a try. We know that having choices is engaging for students, and it's motivating, and it helps you personalize their learning.